everyone, it's me Elizabeth here with Rose Barn Embroidery Designs, and today we're going to do a tutorial on our newest bag, the Hat Trick Zipper Bag. Let's get started and let's get our materials. Alright, now that you gathered your materials, let's go ahead and quickly go over them. I have 3 number 5 zippers. If you don't know what a number 5 zipper is, or you don't understand the difference between the zippers, go ahead and click the top right hand link and it will take you to that video. Also, if you do not know how to put on a zipper pull, go ahead. I will also leave another link in the top right hand corner for how to put it on a zipper pull. I have one 15-inch zipper and 2 5-inch zippers. We are making the 8x12 size, so that's what we'll need. We also have our fold over elastic for our little handle, our hardware piece. Then we will have for our zipper tabs, we have you'll need 2 of your main fabric for your zipper pulls for on the sides, and these are 2x3. You will just need 2x2s. You're going to also want the insides, the 2x2s. And then for the middle piece, you're going to want a 3x2, and then you're going to fold them over so that it equals 2 1/4 inches. And here's my main one. I also already went ahead and I folded it over and I creased my sides, and this equals 2 1/4 inches. You will need a 13x7 for your front piece of your main fabric. You'll need 2 13x7s or a 13x12 if you're going to fold over your fabric for the inside pockets. I will show you a little bit of a trick. I fold over my edge about a 1/2 inch and then I crease. You will need your 13 by, I think this is 6 for your top part of your bag. Yeah, this is 6.5. So 13x6 for the top part of your bag. You'll need your 13x9 for your backing, and then 2 13x9s or 1 13x9 and 1 13x18 for the inside lining. You will also need masking tape and your hoop with your stabilizer. I already have our hoop over on our machine, and it is hoop with stabilizer. I am just using standard cutaway. Let's head on over to our machine and run our very first stitch, which is our placement for our zippers. Right, now that we're on our machine, we're going to go ahead and run our very first stitch, which is just going to be our boxes for our zippers. Right, now that we're done with running our stitches for our zippers, let's go ahead and take it over to our table and we'll put our zippers in. Alright, so now that we have taken it off our machine, we are now going to be putting our zippers on. I'm going to be using zipper tape just to go ahead and place my zippers on. It's fairly simple. I have gone over this before in another video, so I'm going to just do this really quick. Now we're going to take our backing of our tape off. You can kind of see it. It's the shiny. A little bit actually goes a very long way with these. They stick very, very well. Now you're going to take your masking tape. Since I am using number 5 pulls, these tend to like to jump around a lot. So I tape mine down. I'm just going to tape my edge over here down. Now when you're placing the small ones over here, it's up to you how you want them to go. You can have the zippers go this way. You can have the zippers go that way where they meet in the middle. I've typically been putting them so that they meet in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and I am going to put my pull all the way over. You'll see why in just a minute. I'm going to add the next one because I want it to stay outside of the box. And you're going to go ahead and place it in the box. Now again, I'm going to put my pulls like that. And again, if you're going to have it so your pulls are over here, go ahead and do this over here. You're going to want to tape your pulls. That way they don't hit any of the needles and they don't just jump up at you. And it just makes it more secure for them. And you'll see why when we go ahead and rerun. We're now going to take this back to our embroidery machine and we're going to go ahead and run our tack down stitch for our zippers. Once it does run the tack down stitch, it will also run our overall stitch for the whole bag as well. All right, now that we're back at our machine, we're going to go ahead and run our tack downs for our zipper. All right, now that we are now done with the first part of the bag, we're going to go ahead and take it off the hoop and we're going to start putting our zipper handles on. So first we're going to be doing the zipper handle for over here. What you're going to do is you're going to take your main piece of fabric, you're going to flip it over, you're going to put it on the edge of your zipper and tape her down. Flip her over. And you can see we're working on that side. So you take your next one, same thing, and tape it down. Flip it back over and go ahead and let's move this now back to our machine. We're going to be running our placement stitch that's going to come right down through here. Now that we're back at our machine, we're going to run that placement stitch. All right, now that it's done, let's take it back out of our hoop and we're going to be folding it over. Now that you can see that we already went ahead, we ran the placement, we can go ahead and take our tape off. I like to take a little bit of basting spray. I spray it right in the corner, fold it over, tape it just a little bit, and I repeat it on the back side. You can tape it again, flip it back over, press and make sure they're nice and secure, and then we're going to run our fancy little bean stitch right down the side. All right, now that we're back at our machine, we're going to go ahead and run our bean stitch. All right, now that we went ahead, we ran our bean stitch, we're going to go ahead and take it out and we're going to go ahead and we're going to prep our center zipper. All right, so you can see that it went ahead, it ran our bean stitch beautifully and as well on the back. Focus there, there we go. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to take our tape off because I don't like always having tape everywhere. That's just me. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our zipper pull and move it. All right, so now that we went ahead and we moved our zipper pulls, we're going to take it back to the machine and it's actually going to run our placement stitch. All right, so let's go ahead and let's run our placement stitch for our center zipper tabs. All right, now that we have our hoop off the machine and we went ahead, we ran our placement stitches for our center zipper pull, we're going to take our 2 1/4 piece that's folded over. So once it's folded over, it's going to be 2 1/4. We're going to place it just over the zipper placements. So what I like to do for this part is I will just lightly spray. I'll find my center. I'll just gently place it. Then I'm going to tape it down. Actually, you know what? Why don't we bring that up? We want Stitch's cute little face. And if you're a perfectionist and you love placing things and being picky like I am, take your time. All right, and then you're going to take it, flip it over, and you can see that we are over the lines. You're going to get your other piece and you're going to do the same. This one will be easier since it doesn't have the bump. So we're just going to go gently place everything over because you can see the lines. So you're just going to place over. Let's take it back to our machine and let's run our decorative stitch. All right, now that we went ahead and we have our bean stitch done, we're going to take it off and we're actually going to do the next zipper tab on the end side. Right, now that we are done with running our bean stitch on our center, we're going to go ahead, we're going to move towards our end piece. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did here, over here. You take your piece, all right, now we're ready to go back to our machine. And since we already went ahead and did that, with some editing magic, you will now see it finished. And voila! We have all 3 of our zipper tab pulls ready and done. You can see the last one is finished. We have our center and we have our left side. So next thing what we're going to do, we're going to take our zipper pulls and and we're going to tape them up. The reason behind this is we're going to be putting on our piece for the front, and we don't want them jumping up and down and breaking our needle. Now there are two ways you can do this. So we're going to take our front, we're going to flip it upside down against our zipper tapes, and we're going to tape it. You also, once you're done with this, can flip it over and put your lining piece as well on the back, which is what I'm going to do for this one. You don't have to. If you want, go ahead and fold over two pieces of fabric, or fold over your piece of fabric, your 13 by 12. Go ahead, fold it over, and you're gonna wait to the next step. But this is just another way of doing it. Or you can also run this first, which is typically what I do, and then I fold this over. I fold my lining piece over about a 1/2 inch, and then I put it to the back, which is what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead. We're going to get our front lined up. We're going to go ahead and tape it down so it doesn't move on us. We're going to take this back to our machine. It's going to run a placement stitch right here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to flip it over. All right, now that we're back at our machine, we're going to go ahead and run our placement for our top part, or for our bottom top part of our bag. Right, now that we're done with running our placement, we can go ahead, take off our tape. I'm going to use a little bit of basting spray to help it stick. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. You just want to make sure it folds pretty close up to the zipper teeth. And then we're going to take it back to our machine, and it's going to run our little tack down right here. Alright, so we went ahead, we ran our little placement. It's just our little tack down for the front part of the bag for the bottom. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our lining piece. We're going to place it on. I use a little bit of basting spray. We're going to place it just over these lines right here. And we're going to tape our sides down. Now that we have our lining on, we're going to take it back to our machine and we're going to run our tack down. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and take our tape of our poles. We're going to move our poles down and we're going to flip it back over. We're going to take our next piece. This is for the pocket. We're going to tape it on. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to take it back to our machine. We're going to run the lining tack down, and it's going to go up here, and then we're also going to run our stitch that goes right down the middle to create two separate pockets. Right, so one thing I did forget to do, so before you put your lining piece on, always, and before you move your zippers, cut out your cutaway or your stabilizer right here, or you won't have a functioning pocket. So what I'm going to do is just kind of, I'm not going to worry about it too much as long as I have a spot, and then when I flip the bag out, I can go ahead and make better cuts. So learn from my mistake. Before you put your lining on, definitely cut your stabilizer out, and I will put a little note of reminder to do so. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our top piece here. One thing you can do is go ahead, you can cut your excess off if you wish. You do not have to. I like to. Totally up to you. So what I did is I went ahead and I folded my piece in half. We're going to go ahead and line it up, and then we're going to fold it down so it's just about there. So one thing you can do is you can go ahead and line it up ahead of time, and then you can iron it. It's completely up to you. You just always want to make sure that when you put it down, it comes over nicely. All right, so let's go ahead and take it back to our machine. We're going to run our top stitch right here, and then we're going to come back, we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to put our inside lining on, and we're going to keep going from there. All right, so now that we ran our tack down, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna fold it over. You can add a little bit of basting spray, but just be on the safe side. Get some tape, tape it down on the sides. All right, then we're gonna bring it back to the machine. It's gonna run a bean stitch right through here. And so now we went ahead and ran the bean stitch, and you can see Stitch's eyes poking out. It's actually kind of cool. We're going to go ahead and we're going to flip this over. We can actually probably go ahead and take our tape off. If your tape runs against a stitch, don't worry. If you're using masking tape, it pops off. I mean, it's super easy. We're going to go ahead, flip it over. We're now going to take our lining piece. We're going to hide all of this, so you won't see any of this. I'm going to go ahead and take basting spray. I want to do a light coating because I don't want any of the insides to stick. Again, just above your zipper tack down line, and tape is your friend. Do not be afraid of the tape. Press down nicely, take it back to your machine. You're going to be running your stitch all the way around, and we are almost done. So now that we went ahead, we ran our tack down for our lining, our final lining. We're not going to make the same mistake that we did. We're going to go ahead, we're going to move our zipper and tape the zipper down. We are going to take our rotary cutter. If you're not comfortable doing this, just get a pair of scissors. And you can see my cutting table right there, so that's what I know it's a safe spot. Run a little slit, flip it over, take your applique scissors or any easy pair of scissors. You're going to find your slit that you just made, and you're going to cut out your zipper. All right, now that we have our zipper cut out, the next two steps on your embroidery machine are just your tack down and placement for your fold over elastic or your tab or handle, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually going to go ahead and skip that in this video. I'm going to take my tab, I'm just going to place it right here, tape it down, take my lining piece. Since this is not really a directional dependent fabric, it doesn't matter which way you put it, but if it was directional, you're going to want to make sure you're looking at the design and you just flip it over. So the design's facing the same way, but since this is not, I'm just going to go ahead and take it and place it on. Make sure the right side is facing your project. If you want to add batting, go ahead. What I have done is I have added a SF 101. I've added that to it, and it seems to keep the bags nice and thick, and I like the feel of it, so that's what I have done to my backings lately. And then we're going to go ahead and take this to the embroidery machine. Like I said, we're going to skip the 2 steps for this in this video because it's very self-explanatory. It just runs tack downs right here, you put it on, and then it runs into placement. I'm just going to skip that. I'm going to go ahead and run the step next to the last step, the second to last step, which is just putting our backing on. Alright, we went ahead, we ran our just our placement for our backing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over and take our lining, our final lining piece, place it on, tape it down. We're going to take it back to our machine, and we're going to run our final stitch. Alright, so we went ahead, we just finished our final stitch. We're going to go ahead, we're going to take it out of our hoop. Now that it's out of our hoop, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut around, giving ourselves about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Get rid of your excess. Now that it's cut, go ahead, flip it over so you see your lining, stick your hand in, grab your zipper from the top, pinch your side, pull that zipper all the way through. Once you get to that zipper area, go ahead, pinch the sides. You're going to now pull all of that, and the rest of the bag will just kind of flow with it. Pop your corners. You're going to go ahead and cut excess. I'm using hem tape. You can sew it together, you can leave it by itself, you can do heat and bond. It's really a preference. You're going to flip your edges in. You're going to take off the tape. Now hem tape can be sometimes hard to work with. Press it in. Go ahead, pull your tape off your zipper. Pull your zipper all the way open. Pop your corners again. Pop your corners. Take your tape off. Pop your corner. Zip up your bag. And there you have it. You just completed your hat trick zipper bag. And there you have it. Today's tutorial on the hat trick zipper bag. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video and you want to see more of it, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, happy stitching.